Listen closely, because if you've been doing all the right things and still feeling stuck, this is not because you're broken, lazy, cursed, or being punished by life. It's because there is a quiet tug-of-war happening inside you that you were never taught to notice, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. The good news is, you don't have to fight it. You only have to speak to it. Now let me start by saying this gently and with a smile, because I've been there too. You can pray, affirm, visualize, journal, plan, and still feel like life is politely ignoring you. You say the words, but nothing moves. You stay positive, but the results stay stubborn. And you start wondering, what am I missing? Or worse, what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You are not failing at life. You are not bad at manifestation, faith, or self-improvement. You are simply loyal to patterns you didn't consciously choose. And here's the part most people don't want to hear, but desperately need to. Resistance is not loud. It doesn't scream, "I don't want change." It whispers, "I want it, but." That little but is where everything gets stuck. You want abundance, but you don't want responsibility. You want love, but you don't want vulnerability. You want freedom, but you're still emotionally attached to struggle because it feels familiar. And familiarity, even when painful, feels safe to the nervous system. So, if you've ever said, "I don't know why this isn't working," let me translate what your inner world might actually be saying. I want the outcome, but I'm afraid of who I'll have to become to sustain it. A1. And that fear is not evil. It's not weakness. It's habit. Most resistance isn't rebellion. It's protection wearing an outdated uniform. Think of the mind like a well-meaning but overly dramatic bodyguard. Its job is to keep you alive, not fulfilled. So when you try to move into new territory, even good territory, it panics. New equals unknown. Unknown equals unsafe. So it applies the brakes, not with logic, but with emotion. That's why you can consciously want something and unconsciously avoid it at the same time. And the unconscious always wins, not because it's stronger, but because it's automatic. Now here's where language comes in. Words are not just sound, they are instructions. They tell the subconscious what reality you're willing to live in. But here's the trick most people miss. You cannot override resistance by shouting affirmations at it. Resistance doesn't respond to force. It responds to permission. Let me say that again slowly. Resistance dissolves when it feels safe enough to stand down. So when people say, "Just think positive," I smile, because that's like telling someone who's gripping the steering wheel in fear to relax, without letting go of the threat they think they're avoiding. You don't remove resistance by arguing with it. You remove it by acknowledging it. Here's an example. Let's say you keep affirming, "I am wealthy, I am abundant," but inside, there's a quiet voice that says, "If I become wealthy, people will expect more from me." Or, "If I succeed, I'll outgrow people I love." Or, "If I finally get what I want, I won't have an excuse anymore." Those thoughts don't make you negative. They make you honest. And honesty is the doorway. The moment you stop pretending you have no resistance is the moment it starts loosening its grip. Now let me give you a simple framework that will change the way you speak forever. Every desire has 3 layers. The desire itself, the identity required to hold it, and the emotional cost of becoming that identity. Most people focus only on the desire. Very few are willing to address the emotional cost. If you want peace, you may have to give up drama. If you want confidence, you may have to stop outsourcing your worth. If you want ease, you may have to stop proving yourself through struggle. And the ego says, "No, thank you. I'll just keep wanting it." So what do? We stop commanding life and start conversing with the inner resistance, like a wise adult talking to a frightened child. This is where the words you speak matter more than the volume behind them. Instead of saying, "Why is this not working?" you say, "I see you. I know you're trying to protect me, and you can rest now." Instead of saying, "I must change," you say, "I am willing to change at a pace that feels safe." Willingness is more powerful than force. Always has been. Let me make this practical, because I don't want this to stay floating in the clouds. I want you to be able to use this tonight, not someday when life is quieter. Here is the core phrase that begins to release hidden resistance. Not dramatically, not instantly, but gently, which is how real change sticks. I am willing to release the need to struggle to feel safe. That sentence does more than you think. It tells the subconscious that safety no longer requires tension. It loosens the identity that equates effort with worth. Another one is this: I allow myself to receive without proving. Notice the word allow. Allowing is passive, and the ego hates passive because it can't control it. But the soul thrives there. You see, resistance often comes from the belief that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, most of what you're pushing against is imaginary. Let me lighten this with a little humor, because the mind loves to dramatize. The mind says, if I stop worrying, I'll become irresponsible, as if worry has ever paid a bill, as if anxiety has ever solved a problem. Worry is just rehearsal for outcomes you don't want, and yet we cling to it like a lucky charm. So, when you say, I release the belief that tension equals control, you're not giving up responsibility. You're giving up unnecessary suffering. Now here's something that surprises people. Resistance often shows up after you start doing inner work, not before. That's why some of you say, life got harder when I started speaking faith. Of course it did. You started challenging old agreements. Imagine you've lived in a house with furniture arranged a certain way for years. Then one day you decide to rearrange it. The mess doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're moving things. Resistance is often a sign that change is near, not that it's impossible. But here's the key. If you react to resistance with frustration, you strengthen it. If you respond with compassion, it dissolves. So instead of saying, why am I blocked? You say, what part of me is asking for reassurance? That question alone shifts everything. Now let's talk about the hidden benefit of resistance. Because yes, there is one. Resistance gives you identity. It gives you a story. It gives you something to talk about, explain, and sometimes even bond over. Some people don't realize that letting go of resistance means letting go of who they've been known as. The struggler, the underdog, the one who's always almost there. Success can feel lonely if your entire personality was built around survival. So the resistance says, if I let this go, who am I? And instead of answering with fear, you answer with curiosity. I am open to discovering who I am without struggle. That sentence is powerful because it doesn't demand an answer. It creates space. Now I want you to notice something. None of these phrases are aggressive. None of them say, I must. They say, I am willing. And willingness is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. The universe, life, intelligence, whatever name you prefer, responds to openness far more than insistence. Think about it. Have you ever tried to force sleep? The harder you try, the more awake you become. But when you allow it, it arrives. The same law applies to peace, clarity, and flow. So here's a small action I want you to take. And it's so simple your mind might try to dismiss it. That's how you know it's effective. Tonight, or whenever you feel tension about something you want, place your hand on your chest and say, slowly, I am safe to let this unfold. Not I trust. Trust can feel too big when you're anxious. Safety is more primal. The nervous system understands safety. Then say, I release the belief that I must struggle to deserve good, and then stop. Don't rush to fix. Don't add 10 more affirmations. Let the body register the permission. You may feel nothing at first, or you may feel emotional, or you may feel sleepy. That's fine. That's integration. Now let me address the skeptic in you, because I know they're there. Arms crossed, eyebrow raised. They're saying, is this really enough? And I smile, because the skeptic is another protector. You're not changing reality with words. You're changing your relationship to reality. And when that shifts, reality follows. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you're available for. And resistance is simply unavailability dressed as caution. So the practice is not to fight it, but to gently say, I'm available now, available for ease, available for support, available for outcomes that don't require exhaustion. And here's the funny thing. Once resistance feels seen, it stops needing to shout. It stops sabotaging. It stops delaying. Because all it ever wanted was acknowledgement. You don't heal resistance by overcoming it. You heal it by befriending it. And when you do, life stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like a conversation. Now that you understand resistance is not your enemy, but a messenger, the next question naturally arises. How do you live without constantly recreating it? Because here's the subtle trap. People release resistance in one area, then unknowingly rebuild it in another by tightening their grip again. This happens when you say things like, okay, I've learned the lesson. Now, where is it? That sentence alone can rebuild the wall you just dissolved. So let me share something that sounds simple, but carries deep wisdom. Life responds best when you are internally settled before you are externally rewarded. When the inner argument ends, the outer delay often disappears on its own. Most people are still arguing inside. They argue with time. This should have happened by now. They argue with themselves. I should be further. They argue with life. Why them and not me? And every argument tightens resistance. The moment you stop debating reality, reality starts negotiating with you. Now, here is a principle that will save you years of unnecessary effort. Whatever you are pushing against, you are feeding. Whatever you are relaxed about, you are dissolving. That's why some people manifest effortlessly, not because they are better or more spiritual, but because they are less internally conflicted. They don't secretly argue with what they want. They don't attach their identity to waiting. Waiting becomes painful only when you believe something is being withheld from you. But nothing is being withheld. Things are being aligned. Let me make this practical again. Think of something you want right now that feels delayed. Notice the emotional tone around it. Is there impatience, fear, comparison? A quiet panic that says, what if this never happens? That emotional tone is not wrong, but it is information. Instead of trying to replace it with positivity, speak to it directly. Say this slowly and honestly. I release the fear that if this comes easily, I won't value it. That fear is more common than people admit. Many were taught that struggle equals meaning. So ease feels suspicious, like cheating. But ease is not laziness. Ease is alignment. Another powerful phrase is this: I am willing to let this arrive in a way that surprises me. Resistance often comes from attachment to the how. You want the result, but only through a specific doorway. And life says, I have 10 doors for you, but you're blocking 9 because they don't look familiar. Surprise is the language of grace. Now let's talk about something most motivational spaces avoid: secondary gain. This is the quiet benefit you get from not changing. For example, staying stuck can protect you from judgment. Staying overwhelmed can protect you from stillness. Staying busy can protect you from asking deeper questions about what you actually want. So resistance often says, if I let this go, I'll have to face myself. And again, this is not bad. It's human. So instead of demanding courage, you speak safety. I am safe to succeed. I am safe to rest. I am safe to be seen without proving. These sentences may feel strange at first. That's because you're speaking to parts of you that learned safety through tension. Now, here's something important. You don't need to repeat these words all day like a chant. Over repetition can turn wisdom into pressure. You speak them when resistance shows up. Resistance always announces itself physically first. Tight shoulders, shallow breath, restlessness, overthinking. When you feel that, pause. Smile if you can, and say inwardly, "Ah, there you are." That friendliness alone disarms it. Then speak one sentence, not 5, not 10, just one. I allow myself to move forward without self-punishment. Notice the word punishment. Many people don't realize they've been using effort as a form of self-discipline, even self-judgment, as if joy must be earned through exhaustion. But joy is not a reward. It's a frequency. Now let's address timing, because this is where many people slip back into resistance. They say, okay, I've softened, but when? Timing is not a test. It's a calibration. If something arrives before you are internally ready, it often creates chaos. If it arrives after, it creates resentment. So life waits for the moment when receiving feels natural, not overwhelming. So instead of asking when, ask, what version of me is this preparing? That question turns waiting into participation. Now I want to gently correct a misunderstanding. Releasing resistance does not mean you stop taking action. It means your action comes from clarity, not desperation. Desperate action feels heavy. Clear action feels light, even when it requires effort. You'll know the difference by how your body feels afterward. If you feel drained and irritated, you are pushing. If you feel calm and grounded, you are aligned. So before taking action, say this: I act from peace, not pressure. That one sentence can save you from years of burnout. Now let me speak to those of you who feel tired, emotionally tired. Not the kind sleep fixes. The kind that comes from carrying expectations, roles, and inner negotiations for too long. Your fatigue is not from doing too little. It's from doing too much internally. You've been managing outcomes instead of allowing them. So speak this: I release the need to manage what is not mine to control. Control is often mistaken for responsibility, but true responsibility knows where to stop. Now, humor me for a moment. Imagine life as a river. You can swim upstream yelling affirmations, or you can turn downstream and steer. Both involve movement. Only one involves exhaustion. Resistance is swimming upstream while pretending it's discipline. Alignment is steering. Now here is a subtle but powerful practice. When something doesn't move immediately, instead of asking why, say, what is being refined? Why creates blame? What creates curiosity? Curiosity keeps the heart open. Blame tightens it. Now let's talk about receiving, because many people block blessings at the final step. They say they want support, but reject help. They say they want love, but deflect compliments. They say they want abundance, but feel uncomfortable when things go well. So, resistance shows up at the receiving end. So say this: I practice receiving without shrinking. Shrinking is the habit of downplaying good. Receiving is the habit of letting it land. Now, as we come toward the close, I want to leave you with one integrated sentence. This is not a mantra to repeat endlessly. It's a reset you use when you feel stuck, rushed, or frustrated. Here it is: I trust that what is aligned moves without force, and I allow myself to move with it. Read that again, slowly in your own time. That sentence combines trust, allowance, and movement. No struggle. No demand. And now here's your small action. Simple, doable, and effective. For the next 7 days, whenever you feel tension about a goal, pause and ask, am I forcing or allowing? Then speak one releasing sentence. Just one. Not to fix the future, but to soften the present. Because the present is where resistance lives, and the present is where it dissolves. Remember, you are not late. You are not behind. You are not blocked. You are becoming available, and availability is magnetic. If something in this spoke to you, don't rush past it. Let it settle. Let it work quietly in the background while you live your life. And if you want more conversations like this, gentle, honest, and practical, stay close. Subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, or simply let me know what shifted for you. Your reflection might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Life does not ask you to struggle harder. It asks you to soften where you've been bracing, and you already know how to do that. I want you to sit with this, not as a concept, but as an experience. Let the words land. Let them soften something. You don't need to force a breakthrough. You only need to stop resisting the release.